Welcome to Kunzy In English, where we don't just learn English, we build the mindset, the habits, and the confidence to truly master it. I'm so glad you're here, because today we're going to explore a simple phrase that has the power to transform your entire learning journey. Nothing changes if nothing changes. It sounds simple, right? But if you really stop and think about it, this message is powerful enough to make you pause and take a hard look at yourself. So let's be honest for a moment. How are you learning English? Are you just watching videos on YouTube, maybe for a few minutes a day, and then turning them off? Do you tell yourself, I'm not ready to speak yet. I need to learn a bit more first? And then you repeat that routine every day. No speaking, no real practice, no real change. And then one day you ask yourself, why am I not getting better? The answer is already in the phrase. Nothing is changing because you're not changing anything. This episode is your wake-up call. It's a boost of encouragement, yes, but more importantly, it's a clear and practical guide to help you step out of your comfort zone and start making real changes from your thoughts to your daily actions. This isn't just motivation. These are things you can actually start doing today, even small steps that will move you closer to fluency and real confidence in English. So if you're ready to break through, to change how you learn, how you think, and how you show up, stay with me until the end of this episode, because I truly believe you'll find exactly what you need. Why English learners should care about this message. Learning a language is not just about vocabulary and grammar. It's also about your mindset, your consistency, and how you respond when things get hard. This is why the message "nothing changes if nothing changes" matters so much, especially for English learners. Many people feel stuck in their learning journey. Maybe you've been studying for months, even years, but still feel like you're not improving. Why? Often, it's because we're waiting to feel more confident, waiting for more free time, waiting for the right method or moment to appear. But here's the truth. The change you're hoping for doesn't come from outside. It starts from inside. Your circumstances may not change anytime soon. Life will always be busy. Fear will always whisper, "You're not ready yet." But real progress begins the moment you stop waiting and start choosing to act. Imperfectly, consistently, courageously. So if you've been telling yourself, "My English isn't good enough yet," this message is for you. Not because you lack knowledge, but because you have more power than you realize. To shift your direction, starting today. Why do so many people want to change but still don't take action? Here's the truth. Most English learners already know what they need to do. They know they should practice speaking more, listen more actively, or allow themselves to make mistakes and learn from them. But they still don't do it. Why? Because they're afraid. Afraid of speaking badly. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of feeling awkward. And on top of that, their comfort zone feels, well, comfortable. Watching videos, taking notes, doing passive activities, it feels safe. But that safety is actually a trap. It's what keeps you stuck. And here's the key. You're not stuck because you lack knowledge. You're stuck because you lack consistent action. Once you see that clearly, you can change. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin and keep going. Small, steady action is what will break the cycle and lead you to real growth and confidence. What stops you from taking action? Have you ever told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm not ready yet"? Those words sound reasonable, but in reality, they are the perfect trap of procrastination. The more you wait, the more time you lose. Weeks pass, months pass, and you're still stuck in the same place. Here's the truth. We often wait to feel ready before we take action. But the truth is, readiness doesn't come first. It comes after. You don't become ready and then act. You act first, and readiness shows up later. Even one small action, like talking to yourself in English, recording your voice, or writing a short paragraph, can break the cycle of fear and build real momentum toward change. What does real change actually look like? You don't need a massive breakthrough to change your English journey. You just need small actions done consistently, not hours of studying or memorizing long vocabulary lists. Just 10 minutes of focused listening, speaking one sentence out loud, recording your voice, and listening back. That's how change begins. Quietly, slowly. Real change isn't loud, it's steady. And every day you repeat those small actions, you are building a strong foundation for confidence, fluency, and control over your English. One day, you'll look back and think, wow, I've really grown. How does belief affect your progress? Belief is the beginning of every transformation. If you constantly tell yourself, my English isn't good enough, you'll act like it's true. You'll avoid speaking, skip practice, and miss the chances to grow. But what if you told yourself a different story? What if you said, I am becoming a confident English speaker? That belief alone can change the way you show up. You'll dare to speak, dare to make mistakes, dare to keep going. And those actions, they turn belief into reality. You don't become confident first and then believe. You believe first, and that belief makes you confident. Is waiting for motivation dangerous? Waiting for motivation is like waiting for sunshine before you go for a run. Maybe it's sunny today, but what about tomorrow? Motivation is unpredictable. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. And if you only study when you feel like it, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Discipline means doing it even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when it's hard. And here's the magic. Once you start, motivation often follows. Remember, discipline creates progress. Motivation is just a bonus. Do small wins really matter? Absolutely. Small progress is still progress. So many learners give up, not because they aren't improving, but because they don't realize they're improving. They wait for big results and miss the power of small, steady growth. You learned one new word today? That's a win. You understood one sentence you used to struggle with? That's a win. You said one English sentence out loud, even if it wasn't perfect? That's a win. Small wins, daily repetition, big transformation. Never underestimate the power of tiny steps. They build the path to real fluency. The comfort zone, the enemy of growth. The comfort zone feels safe, but if you stay there too long, you stop growing. It's not because you're not capable. It's because you're not challenging yourself. All progress, in English or in life, starts when you step into discomfort. You don't need to do something huge. Just be brave enough to do something a little scary. Start a conversation in English, record your voice and listen back, or ask a question in an online group. These small, courageous actions spark big transformation. If you want to grow, do something that makes you just a little nervous. Not panic, just a stretch. And then step. Why is consistency more important than perfection? Many English learners fall into the perfection trap. They want to speak flawlessly, perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, and because of that, they don't speak at all. Perfection creates fear. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Practicing 10 minutes a day beats studying for 2 hours once a week and quitting. Every imperfect effort builds confidence and fluency. Perfection is a trap. Consistency is the bridge. Don't wait to be good enough to speak. Speak regularly to become good. How do habits shape your English journey? You don't need to study English for hours to improve. What matters more is making English a natural part of your daily life. Like brushing your teeth or making coffee, if it becomes a habit, progress happens without pressure. You can listen to podcasts while cooking, think in English while walking, or talk to yourself when you're alone. It doesn't need to be perfect, just repeat it. Every small action builds up to big results. Small habits, done daily, lead to big changes. Let English become part of you, gently, naturally, and consistently. What should you do when you feel like you're not improving? Sometimes you study every day, but still feel like you're not getting better. It's frustrating, but here's the truth. That feeling is normal. Most real progress in language learning is invisible at first. Think of going to the gym. You don't get six-pack abs after a few workouts. But if you stay consistent, your body will change. English learning is the same. Your brain is building new pathways, little by little, even if you can't see it yet. Progress isn't always something you feel, but it's still happening. Don't quit just because results aren't obvious. Trust the process. Why is speaking the hardest skill to change? Out of all the English skills, listening, reading, writing, and speaking is often the hardest to improve. Why? Because it's live, it's immediate, and it's scary. You're afraid of making mistakes, of being judged, of sounding silly. So most learners avoid it. But the truth is, speaking won't improve on its own. You have to practice it often, even if you're alone. Talk to yourself. Talk to your pet. Talk while washing dishes, walking outside, or looking in the mirror. Because use it or lose it. If you don't speak, you lose the skill. Speaking doesn't require perfection. It requires courage. Even if your words aren't perfect, just say them. Every time you speak, you move closer to confidence. What happens if you keep waiting? Have you ever said, "I'll start when I have more time," or "I'll practice speaking when my English is better"? It sounds reasonable, but it's actually one of the biggest traps. Because when you keep waiting, nothing changes. Time passes, life goes on, and you stay stuck. Waiting never creates change. Only action does. And you don't need big, dramatic action, just one small step. Speak for 5 minutes. Learn one new word. Think in English while washing your hands. These small actions, done consistently, have the power to transform your journey. You don't need to be ready. You just need to begin. Start today. How do emotions affect your learning? Language learning isn't just a mental journey. It's an emotional one, too. You might feel nervous when you speak, embarrassed when you make mistakes, or frustrated when progress feels slow. And guess what? All of that is normal. You don't have to get rid of those feelings to keep learning. You just have to move forward with them. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action even while you're afraid. When you speak, even though you're nervous. When you keep listening, even though you feel stuck. That's when you're truly growing. Emotions aren't the end of the story. They're part of your journey. And it means you're on the right path. The power of showing up every day. You don't need to be the best, the smartest, or the one with perfect pronunciation. You just need to keep showing up. Every day, every week, even when you're tired, Even when today isn't perfect, you still return to English. The real secret to success isn't talent, it's persistence. The learners who grow the most aren't always the ones who know the most. They're the ones who didn't give up. Every time you show up, you're laying another brick for your future fluent self. Keep going. Don't stop. Why you must take ownership of your learning journey. Learning English is a personal journey, and no one can walk it for you. Not a teacher, not an app, not even the best video. None of it matters if you don't commit. You are the only one who truly cares about your own progress every single day. Don't wait for someone to push you. Don't wait for permission. You don't need permission. You already have the right to begin. The right to make mistakes. The right to try. The right to grow. Take ownership. This is your journey. Your future is in your hands. If you feel stuck, like you're not making progress or losing motivation, maybe you're just trapped in a repetitive cycle, watching videos but not speaking, learning theory but not practicing, and you're waiting for the day you'll feel ready. But the truth is, waiting doesn't create change. Action does. So try this. Pick one thing you've been avoiding and do it this week. It could be recording your voice, speaking to yourself for 5 minutes, making a phone call in English. Even the smallest action can break the cycle that's been holding you back. Success in learning English isn't always a big, dramatic moment. It's not just about passing a test or being praised for your skills. Sometimes success is a quiet, personal moment that fills you with pride. It's when you understand what someone said without subtitles. When you respond in English automatically without translating. When you speak 3 full sentences without hesitating. These small wins are more than progress. They're confidence builders. And confidence is the fuel that keeps you going. Your future is waiting, and it all begins with what you choose to do today. Ask yourself this simple but powerful question. What can I do today that my future self will thank me for? Maybe it's 10 minutes of speaking practice. Maybe it's listening to a podcast instead of scrolling through social media. Maybe it's choosing courage over silence. Small actions done consistently can change your entire journey. And one day, you'll look back and be grateful that you didn't give up. Thank you for listening to Kunzy in English. If this episode helped you, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep growing together every week. Start today. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up.